What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I have an extremely important AMC and honestly, what the heck is going on with our financial media in the market update for you guys this evening. So what we're going to be covering in this update is a little bit of the technicals on AMC, a little bit of the Ortex and the options data as well, but we're going to be going over this situation that I have uncovered with Business Insider, their CEO, and his history of fraudulent practices. Just a hint before we get into a little bit later in this video, he is fully banned from the securities industry for life from the SEC. That doesn't happen very often, so you know that the actions that this individual who owns and is the CEO now of a pretty substantial financial media outlet has done some pretty wild things in the past in the world of finance. There's some other relationships in here too that we have to take a look at as well. But before we get into all of that information, if you enjoyed the information and analysis that I provide for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Okay, so AMC closed the day today at $12.60, up 10 cents, 0.8%. Now, again, market pretty volatile. We had Powell this morning. We're going to be getting Powell tomorrow. So I would expect some more volatility going into the end of the week before we are going to be getting GDP numbers over the next couple of weeks. Now, looking at AMC on some of the longer timeframes over here, we like to look at this on the 4-hour chart to kind of get a better indication of where things are going to go over the next couple of days or weeks. We did get this 1348 cross to the upside here, but we do need to see momentum above this 200 EMA over here. If you guys do want more information on this in the strategy, the alerts, the options data, all of the over 55 private live streams every single month, make sure you check out that link down below. But when we're coming over to the Ortex data over here for AMC, let me just give this a little bit of a quick update before we get into the bulk of this information and essentially how the hell is any of this legal? 22.71% estimated short interest, 21.22% average cost to borrow, 27.87% max cost to borrow, and now we still see 193.35 million shares on loan with AMC. 37.51% of the free flow is on loan right now. Very, very crazy. Now, I did get a couple of questions today on the live stream. Well, what is the gamma potential like for AMC? Again, anytime you talk about a gamma squeeze, it's an if this, then that statement. We would need to see a very significant jump to the upside to even really have that conversation of whether or not these market makers are going to do any significant amount of hedging. But when we take a look at the weekly options chain for AMC this week, we do see a decent amount of open interest at 13, 13.50, 14. So getting above those levels could give us a little bit more buying pressure. But again, you need to see that initial buying pressure anyway in order for us to get there. So buying pressure is what we need, whether it be from institutions or from retail investors. Anything that gets us going to the upside at this point, I think is fine by me. Now, let's get into this situation right now with Business Insider, their CEO, the history, the relationships, and how crazy this is right now. So the first thing that we need to take a look at right here is this SEC judgment against this individual, Henry Blodgett. The regulators charged that, among other things, Blodgett of New York City issued fraudulent research under Merrill Lynch's name, as well as research in which he expressed views that were inconsistent with privately expressed negative views. Blodgett's conduct constituted violations of the federal securities laws and NASD and NYSE rules, which require that, among other things, published research reports have a reasonable basis, present a fair picture of the investment risks and benefits, and do not make exaggerated or unwarranted claims. Now, the two examples that are outlined right here aided and abetted violations of anti-fraud provisions from the federal securities laws and violated SRO rules by issuing research reports on one internet company, GoTo.com, that were materially misleading because they were contrary to privately expressed negative views, and issued research reports on 6 other internet companies listed here that were not based in principles of fair dealing and good faith and did not provide a sound basis for evaluating facts regarding those companies, contained exaggerated or unwarranted claims about those companies, and or contained opinions for which there was no reasonable basis. And when we look up here, let me see if I can find this right here, will be censured and permanently banned from the securities industry and will make a total payment of $4 million to settle the charges against them. The $4 million is not really the important part here, but he's banned from participating in the securities industry. Now, when we come over here and take a look at kind of a little bit more of like a narrative of what happened, star tech analyst Blodgett became a poster boy for corporate collusion that helped fuel the 1990s dot-com bubble after his emails were subpoenaed and released in 2002 by then New York Attorney General Eliot Spitzer. The messages revealed that as the high-flying analyst was talking up stocks on television and elsewhere in private, he was deriding the same equities as junk, crap, and powder keg, and worse, a dishonest practice that many analysts embraced. The companies Blodgett promoted had business ties or potential ties with Merrill's investment banking arm. Blodgett later paid $4 million in penalties and was banned for life from the securities industry. Now, that's not all. We have this individual getting barred from the securities industry right here. What did he then end up doing over the next few years? Well, when we come over here, in 2002, he basically got banned right here, his writing. Following his departure from the financial markets, Blodgett resumed his career as a financial and economics writer. He was appointed CEO of Cherry Hill Research. He's doing research again, a research and consulting firm, and contributed to Slate, Newsweek International, New York Times, Fortune, Forbes Online, Business 2.0, yada, yada, yada. Now, he rose to prominence again as co-founder, CEO, and editor-in-chief of Business Insider in 2007. He was also a frequent contributor to Seeking Alpha. Now, I looked to see if there was any recent Seeking Alpha articles. Everything that we can find back here is basically from 2008. That looks like when he stopped contributing. The last article right here, March 17th, 2008. Now, when we come over and take a look at some of the Business Insider articles, I found an example of one right here. AMC stock hasn't changed, and one blockbuster doesn't fix it. So again, you have an individual who has been permanently barred from the securities industry, putting out materially false information about securities, now owning Business Insider, or not directly owning, but he's the CEO, as we'll see later. He's the CEO of Business Insider, putting out information. How is anything that this individual says or this company says have any basis in fact, or can you trust anything that they say? Now, here are a couple of the other things that I want you guys to take a look at as well. When we come over to Business Insider over here, in early 2020, CEO Henry Blodgett convened a meeting in which he announced plans for the website to acquire 1 million subscribers, 1 billion unique visitors per month, and over 1,000 newsroom employees. The parent companies of Business Insider and eMarketer merged in 2020 in connection with the proposed purchase of Axel Springer by KKR. KKR is going to be very, very important here, but I want you guys to take a look at this very quickly. After Business Insider was purchased by Axel Springer SE in 2015, a substantial portion of its staff left the company. According to a CNN report, some staff exited, complaining that traffic took precedence over enterprise reporting, meaning that they were essentially willing to put anything out into the news media outlets if they were going to get clicks and views. Pretty interesting right here. We see a lot of these media institutions do this right now. Now back to KKR right here. When we come over and see who these individuals are who own Axel Springer and also indirectly own a giant percentage of Business Insider right now, what do? KKR's hedge fund business consists of strategic manager partnerships with third-party hedge fund managers in which KKR owns a minority stake. As of December 31st, 2017, the strategic manager partnerships with third-party hedge fund managers accounted for $26.2 billion of assets under management. So how is it that an individual who was barred from the securities industry starts essentially a financial media news outlet that gets bought out by a private equity firm that then has third-party relationships with hedge funds in which their stake is worth about $26.2 billion? How is anything that these individuals saying not necessarily thinking about how it's related to essentially AMC and GME right now, but these institutions and individuals have a beneficial interest in putting out news stories or not putting out news stories that will benefit their own equity holdings. So what we're looking at here, and the main takeaway that I want you guys to understand from this, is I understand that a lot of people get very frustrated when people like Gasparino or some other people in the news media outlets like to either say nonsensical things about either the market or AMC and GME, or they like to say things that are just completely not based in fact. After watching this video, what I really want you guys to really understand is it does not matter what anybody outside of yourself thinks about your investment. Everybody is going to have their own, essentially, agenda in putting out whatever news that they are going to put out. Is Business Insider the only institution doing this? Absolutely not. But this is the example that we have in this video here that is absolutely insane. So that is going to wrap up this update on AMC and this whole situation going on with Business Insider. If you guys enjoyed the information and analysis that I provided for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. If you guys want to see more videos like this too, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. So I hope you guys are having a great evening, and I will see you guys in the next video.